Yeah.
All right, what's up, homies? Welcome back to another episode of the Hardwood Homies, and it's been a crazy March. We missed last week. We had spring break and stuff that made it hard for us to actually get a whole lot of recording done and stuff. But we're back, and we got some big news. We saw St. Peter's. I think that's the story of the
Historic
tournament.
news,
So,
actually. Yeah.
yeah,
First 15 to get to the Elite Eight?
yeah,
Yeah, okay. Where are they from?
New Jersey.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, quite the, they screwed both of our brackets.
Yeah.
First night, I guess, because
Yeah.
they beat Kentucky.
Very first night. We both had Kentucky winning the championship. And looking at how St. Peter's did the rest of the tournament, it doesn't look that bad, but it was
still bad.
It was pretty bad.
At the time, it was exciting though.
I was still cheering for it, obviously.
Yeah, I knew I was screwed once that happened, but I was all for it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Their coach Shaheen Holloway Holloway. Yeah. He just got a deal to his alma mater. He's going to be coaching 6 years at
Seton Hall.
6-year deal at Seton Hall. So
yeah, he former player for Seton Hall. He played point guard for him in like the early 2000s, I believe. So
show me video actually.
Yeah, he had a game winner in March once upon a time. So I mean,
that's cool.
He's been to the Sweet 16 before, and then you know what, he took his team there again in St. Peter's, and I think for a lot of people, they didn't really watch a whole lot of their early games, so people are like progressively more and more surprised every time they got a win. But I felt a little differently because when I watched them the first time, I was thinking it takes a lot to beat that Kentucky team. It doesn't matter how bad Kentucky played or whatever. It takes a lot to beat them just to because the physicality and the athleticism of a team like that. I was thinking, you know what, this team might be pretty good.
Yeah, I mean,
it didn't feel like it was a crazy fluke thing. Like I was thinking when I watched them, I thought these guys have guards. They can shoot it. They got, big guys that are athletic and can hang with people.
I saw the very end of that Kentucky game, and then did they go to No, they didn't go to overtime.
Yeah.
Oh, they did? Okay. And I don't know what game was on right before that, but I left it kind of disappointed. And then I
think it was Creighton.
Yeah, they lost after. Yeah, and
Creighton, San Diego State.
Or no, San Diego State lost, and I wanted them. But who's their guy?
Creighton?
No, sorry. St. Peter's in the post. Adefo or.
Mm-hmm. The Defo, yeah.
The Defo, that's it. He was really impressive. I know they have. He's become like a meme on the internet. Eddard, yeah.
Doug.
Who?
The stash.
Does not look like he'd be a ball player. But he is. He can shoot it. He had some big shots in that game, actually. Against Kentucky.
Some huge shots in the first two games, actually. They kept running that kind of pin-down screen for him where he'd come to the top, catch it, and let it fly. And he hit like two huge back-to-back threes against Kentucky. But, yeah, and then he hit a couple against Murray State as well. Kind of some daggers in that one. So.
See, okay, I didn't see as much of that game, but the one shot against Kentucky, I was like, he's going to hit that, isn't he? But that's not really I don't know. Personally, I don't like shooting from the top of the key like that. So, but if they keep giving you that, he can shoot it. So, no, that was kind of, I guess, the story of March. Everyone, they lost to North Carolina on Sunday. Not even close. The game wasn't close.
Kind of the story of the Elite Eight, honestly. Nothing real.
Yeah.
Real great to watch. The closest game was Villanova-Houston, and it was kind of a defensive scrap fest. It was 50-44 or something. I mean, it was ugly basketball. But
yeah, Houston a few times got real. I know one time they got within two.
Yeah, they got it to two. They just could not make a three. They could not hit one.
It looked like 1 for 20?
Something like that, yeah. They kept kicking it out. They kept getting fairly open looks towards the end, but they just could not get one to go. Neither could Villanova, though, to be fair.
And then they lost a big guy, Justin Moore, with he ruptured his Achilles.
Yep.
And he's done for the tournament, obviously.
Yeah, crushing blow.
I mean, I want to ask, you think they're done, but maybe we should
We're saving that. Yeah, let's. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. We got it. There's more stories.
Oh, there's a lot of stories.
It's a lot of stories.
I don't know if I like them all, but yes, there's a lot of stories. Yeah. Let's start first day. I know this was real big for you, kind of just the Iowa game, that loss, rather.
Yeah. No, I did want to say something about that because that was a weird one because a lot of the times your 12s and 5s are trendy upset picks. And that's because the 12s are usually fairly good conferences that a team gets hot and is coming in looking good. So your 12 is looking pretty good. And usually a 5 is one of those top teams that's been struggling lately and kind of limps into the tournament a little. And that's why people are picking the 12s over the 5s so often is because the 12 is coming in hot and the 5 is usually struggling. But in this case, Iowa was a 5 that came in guns a-blazing out of the Big Ten tournament. You know, they had won 8 games in a row or something. I mean, they were.
And you kind of pointed them out like a few weeks, maybe the week before the conference tournament or the week prior to that even. It's like a team to watch. And they were a trendy Final Four pick, too, out of the –
Yeah, a lot of the smart analysts were picking Iowa a long ways, so.
Well, that's a funny thing. Whenever these analysts, they'll say, like, they act like their picks are going to be, like, surprising, but every year they pretty much pick most of the number 1 teams that everyone picks.
Yeah.
And I don't – they'll pick the trendy upset. I don't get that. That's a whole other thing we should have talked about pre-tournament.
No, I agree with that.
Yeah, that was a big –
I mean, you look at them, every single one of their picks was Gonzaga versus Arizona, Kentucky versus Arizona,
Gonzaga versus like maybe
Kansas, maybe
Kansas, but not really.
Not really. Yeah,
that's
there's mostly either Arizona or Iowa on that side. It feels like.
Yeah, no, that's a weird combo.
Or like an Auburn if Charles Barkley's bracket was up there.
Oh yeah, no, that's weird because Lute Olson, famous Arizona coach, coached at Iowa prior, but I don't know. That's just weird that those teams came up.
But my point about that 12-5 thing is that hardly anyone was picking Iowa to lose that game. There were every year people pick 12s over 5s, which isn't all that normal because one of them usually happens. But that was not the one that people were expecting this year. So
no,
it was definitely a surprise.
And another big thing that you pointed out, and I was really kind of saddened by, maybe I was just disappointed, but the Mountain West really they got 4 teams in and 4 teams out without a win. You had Wyoming lost to Indiana in the first 4. My big heartbreaker, Colorado State lost Michigan the first game of the tournament. And I'm missing 2 others. San Diego State and Boise State.
And Boise State. Yeah, Boise State got kind of crushed in the first half. Tried to make a little comeback, but.
You were right about Memphis. And then San Diego State lost. But Memphis, I don't know.
They gave Gonzaga a look.
I just want to talk about that because I saw the end of that game, and at half they were up.
11,
and then I guess
9.
Timmy went off in the second half.
Yeah, he didn't miss a shot. Kind of sucked. I didn't really. After saying that I thought Memphis had a chance, I thought it would have been really cool if they'd ended up beating them. But
yeah, no, it looked like they would, but that's the thing. Gonzaga didn't look good.
No, almost the whole tournament.
Who did they play first round? I'm trying to
Georgia State.
Yeah, that game was the most unconvincing win, and the final score is like 20 or something, so they took care of it late. But if you watch the first half and even part of the second half before foul out.
10 minutes to go. Tied?
Yeah, real close. And they were kind of getting outplayed, but then when they lost their center, I think he was out at half. I got the second half, and then their guy that came in for him was doing a really good job, but then he fouled out, and then they brought in a freshman, and they were getting like 4 or 5 offensive rebounds.
Yeah, just couldn't even hang with them after those guys went out. But
Gonzaga, kind of being a fan of that team's got to be rough.
Oh, boy, just brutal. You think of all the talented teams and players they've had over the last 5 years there, and to just not be in a couple championship games to show for it, but no championships.
Yeah, and I think we talked about this earlier, but I think last year was their best chance. This year, I get kind of the point because it was wide open this year more so. But.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that year they played North Carolina. I mean, they were closer in that championship game, but I don't think that as many people thought that they were, championship team that year as they did last year. Last year, pretty much everyone picked Gonzaga, it seemed like, and this year. So.
I think that was the first time I had picked them, but they're always, And it's like if you're a West Coast basketball fan for a while, and they've been, if you'll pick them to win if you want to see. Because what's the team west of, is it the Mississippi?
Of Texas, I think.
West of Texas, because Baylor.
Mm-hmm.
West of Texas has not won the national title since '97. Arizona, by the way. But so it's been rough, and the West doesn't have any teams in the Final Four. Not even in the.
Is Kansas west of Texas? Apparently not.
No,
must not be because they won in 2008.
Yeah, so. I don't know. It's been rough for the West Coast fans, I guess. I don't know if there's really a takeaway.
Well, there's not as many teams over there too, so I mean that's part of it. But
you go to the Northeast, dun 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 dun.
Yeah. One thing you got to say though is it's hard to win a championship in college basketball. Like I know we had this big conversation when you were saying you were in your feelings about Arizona losing, and Gonzaga had just lost, and you were saying all the top teams are losing. March Madness is no fun. Boo hoo. But anyway.
Okay. Keep going. I'll stop this.
So, and then I consoled you. I said, that's what's fun about March is that, it is hard to win the championship. The best team doesn't always win, but you've got such good stories that come from it. And, you've got your St. Peterses and you've got, I guess I'd say Miami. I know that sounds like I'm being a homer, but we had a good run.
First time making the Elite Eight. I mean, it is a story. Like, it's not just you're biased or whatever. Yeah, no.
But, March Madness, that's why people love the tournament. It's not because, the best team is always winning. It's probably not the best way to find a champion, if we're being completely honest.
Yeah.
I don't know that the best team is the champion every year.
It's getting choked up with that.
No. Cold.
But no, I agree. And it's hard to analyze this because, yes, a big reason, I'll say in years past, like when I wasn't cheering for, I think, one of the best teams most of the year, I would say, you know what, I'm tired of seeing whoever. Maybe it's Duke one year. They were dominant a few years, number one most of the year. I don't want to see that team win it. And Kansas has had years like that too. But I don't know, since I was cheering for one of the better teams and also like two of the best teams were on the West, even if they maybe got exposed a bit, they were still easily top 10 in the country. Mm-hmm. So, for that to happen, then it becomes – because like I was telling you that night Arizona lost, anyone that's been living under a rock, Arizona lost to Houston in a defensive football game kind of, and they were not physical. They got outplayed, never were really close. They cut it to like 2 at one point, but They never had the lead the whole game. Houston
kind of tried to give it away a couple times late. Their point guard just threw up some Hail Marys to the other team to keep the football reference going. They just started throwing it to Arizona, but they still couldn't really get much going.
Well, Houston shot 9 of 20 from 3, which won't happen much, but you still got to find a way to win those games. But I don't know. Because I felt like there were a lot of good – well, not a lot – but there are some good stories this year. But when, push comes to shove, what you have is you get we don't agree on this, but you have Duke, North Carolina, Villanova, like all these, and Kansas. And I would say Villanova's the one team out of those that I could cheer the most for, but they're all blue bloods as of late.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know. We have this year where the whole thing was there's so much parity, anyone can win, and then we end with these historic programs. It doesn't appeal to me at all. And Arizona's a big part of it, but that's not all. These 4 teams are just, I don't know. Do it.
I'm with you in terms of being appealed by teams that I want to win. Because do I like 3 of those 4 teams? I wouldn't even say I really like all that much. I like Villanova, but.
Yeah.
Besides them, I don't like Duke. I'm not a big Kansas guy. I don't really like North Carolina. So as a fan, I'm not really cheering on many of those teams. But as a college basketball, appreciator, there's some awesome history type. Coach K can, I said this to you earlier, Coach K can, end his career beating North Carolina in his last year, and then beating Kansas, who he beat in his first championship. I mean, that's a heck of a story. And then on the flip side, he could be going out in his very last game, losing to North Carolina. I mean, I think as a Duke fan, that would be just the epitome of brutality, to quote Rothstein.
Yeah. No, okay. Well, that's the thing, though. I really struggle with that because I admit it's a good story. I'm not going to be so stupid as to say just because I don't like it, it's not good. But I don't know, it's just tough for me because, first of all, North Carolina's been playing great. So there's nothing to take away from them. But in all honesty, have they been playing like that all year or even close? No. For a long time, I don't think they should have even been in the tournament. When they beat Duke late, I said, I'm not going to.
And that's another thing.
I just don't like that.
That kind of kickstarted them, honestly. I mean, the emotional charge that would give you to beat Coach K and Cameron in his last game ever there. I mean, that worked wonders for them because ever since that happened, look at how good that team's been playing.
And now it's poetic. Now they meet again. Does he get the last laugh and when it matters most? I get the
as a fan of either of those teams. Holy smokes, the stakes are so high. Imagine being a Duke fan or a Carolina fan and having to lose. It's the first time they've ever played in the tournament.
Duke fans have more to lose, though. For both, it's a rivalry, everything. But, if you're a Duke fan, you have the better team, and it's Coach K's last run. If you lose to Carolina, retirement night, and this game,
and they go to the championship, you got to watch them on Monday night, play for the championship.
And Hubert Davis for North Carolina, I like him. His first season as a head coach does not happen much. You get to the Final Four.
No.
But even so obviously I don't want Duke to win, and I'll rant about that later. But North Carolina, happy for them. I have nothing really against them, but do I want to see them in the championship? No, I don't think they really belong in a chance to win the title after how they played part of this year. No, that would be hard to stomach. But then who? I want Kansas because I don't think Villanova gets it. I don't know. Kind of going into predictions, but Villanova's going to struggle without one of their best guys. So there are storylines, but they don't.
It is a tough matchup for Villanova, but
they don't appeal to me. I don't know. Get sad again. Just break down. I guess as a Miami fan, I'm curious what you thought. Obviously, very cool what they did, but take me through it because they had a kind of a weird path to get.
Very weird path. So when I first got the bracket, when we were watching the show, I see they got USC. My first thought is that's kind of a tough draw because that's not great. Given how good of a year we've had in the ACC, which the media gives the ACC zero zippy zap credit at all. Until now, of course, when it matters.
Historically, though, you've gotten
sure.
Yeah, so which
is why it makes no sense to just suddenly stop giving them any credit at all.
But
anyway, so as a Miami fan, I see we play USC, and then looking forward, I see an Auburn team that is beatable for sure. They played in a lot of close games. We played in a lot of close games. Maybe we can get the better of them. But I was almost just as worried for that USC game as I was for the Auburn game.
Yeah.
And it was a
USC game was crazy.
It was a crazy game. We should have won by a lot more. Then it kind of looked like we dang near should have lost. And then,
Well, what about I don't want to. You won the game, so I can say this. What about the collapse after half? I'm in my room.
We did the same exact thing against Kansas.
No, I know, but then you didn't recover.
No, we didn't recover
because it's a much better team, which is right,
exactly.
And they couldn't miss. So, but I don't know. That's the thing.
We were up 8 with 45 seconds left, and they tied it with 12 seconds left or 10 seconds.
I don't know how you guys win that game. That was that's when you say, okay, a win's a win. We're still alive. That's all you take from that game. There's not a ton to say. We did so good, but it doesn't matter.
And then you come out of that game, you survive, and you follow it up with just a absolutely, masterclass performance against Auburn. A talented Auburn team that has multiple, first round probably draft picks in Kessler and Jabari Smith,
Yeah.
One guy might be the number one pick in the draft.
You said Kessler didn't do anything.
Neither of them did.
Oh, okay.
Jabari Smith got dunked on by Isaiah Wong. He got rejected at the rim by Wardenberg. He had maybe 6 points at halftime. He just did nothing. And Kessler was the same way.
Yeah.
So as a Miami fan, I mean, it was a surprising run, but it was a run that I thought we could have.
Okay.
It's just
kind of battle tested all year. You were telling me that, which I agree with. If you have to fight for it all year, it makes you better.
Yeah, that's the thing about those bubble teams. There's something to be said about that. Is that as a bubble team, towards the end of the year, every single one of your games could be the one that makes you miss March. So you got to play every single one like it's your last. Whereas if you're Gonzaga, Arizona, Duke, Kansas, all of those teams, if you lose, you just get ready for practice to get ready. Now you're a 2 seed instead of a 1 seed or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
It prepares you a lot more as a bubble team. And I think that's part of the reason why these bubble teams do so well.
Yeah, that's a good point. And we have this friend who he filled out his bracket pretty much chalk. And then he puts Miami on some magical – where do you have him? Final Four? Championship. And as absurd as that bracket was, it was pretty close because you had a lot of chalk, and then, it kind of erodes with North Carolina, but pretty percentage-wise, really good bracket. But that Iowa State game, obviously they're in 11, but you're both playing good at that point. Were you worried? What did you think?
No, not really.
No,
I actually wasn't really that worried about that game because I had watched Iowa State's first 2 games where the teams they were playing just rolled over. Wisconsin was miserable in that game against them.
I didn't see that game.
Oh, my goodness. It was one of the worst basketball games I watched all year. Neither teams could score a single point. It was just terrible. But I don't know. So I watched Iowa State win. I thought the way Miami's playing, we really shouldn't have much trouble with them. And we didn't for the most part. We played pretty bad in the first half, and they kind of kept it close. But
yeah.
I don't know. I wasn't really worried about them. Kansas, I was definitely worried about, but
it's good to be.
I was pleasantly surprised with the first half, but
rude awakening.
They went on a little run, smacked us in the mouth.
Little run.
Yeah, just 20-0 run.
Yeah, that was
40.
You didn't even have a chance to get angry. It was just it's over. Just sadness.
As soon as they got it tied right away, I think I went in because you were in your room doing homework or something. I walked in there and I said to you, I'm very worried, or this is the wheels are about to fall off, or something along that line.
You said you're looking gassed, I think. Actually.
Yeah, I said we look dead, we just don't have it, and I knew it was going to be bad once that happened. So,
but a good run. Larinaga got extended, didn't he?
Yeah,
he did.
That was while before, but yeah.
Oh, did he? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he got extended before I think the regular season was even over.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, quite the run for Miami, to say the least. St. Peter's, those were the 2 kind of teams that that no one expected that made it the farthest.
Yeah, North Carolina into them into that, but
yeah, I don't know. I'll talk about Arizona a bit, but I already alluded to it. Just a tough loss. I'm a pessimist when it comes to this stuff, but probably the best roster we've had in a good 10 years. Maybe you can say 8 or something. Yeah,
you could throw in the 8 year. That was a talented roster.
That's true.
It wasn't probably as good of a team, but it was as equally or more talented roster.
I should clarify that. Yeah, actually, I think the team is what because you have a lot of good pieces. You had post presence. You had a big time NBA talent on the perimeter, and then, not always, but pretty solid on defense. Could shoot better than our teams really have in a while. And they were fun to watch, which isn't always. You can't always get that. Maybe your team's good and they just pound it down low. And
Arizona definitely one of the more fun teams to watch this year.
Yeah, I don't know. They, as you put it, out of sorts against Houston. And I don't know, it just plays into the narrative that, West Coast ball is soft, which is fine. Part of me wants to argue they got outplayed. This is not the difference in the game, but part of what I don't like is just that style of basketball where it's just every play even in a more finesse game, you could probably call fouls on most plays. But that style of ball is just, I don't know, it's just way too physical. That's like we lost, which didn't help me think it was real entertaining to watch. But also, I hate that. Houston, I don't know, they like to play like that though. Like,
yeah.
Offensive rebound.
We're seeing a kind of a trend in that way in college basketball right now. If you start looking at some of the teams that made the Elite Eight, they're predicated on defense.
Yeah.
Villanova is a great defensive team. Houston's a great defensive team.
Duke's
Miami, not a fantastic defensive team necessarily, but they create a lot of turnovers.
Well, it's that scrappy style that
right.
It's like a
exactly.
mess.
Arkansas, really good defensively.
There, yep.
A lot of these teams in college basketball are trending towards this, bunch of raw athletes out there running around, run and jump style.
That's true.
Physical basketball.
And they run into these 1 seeds and expose them because they don't play like that.
Yeah.
They can't play 40 minutes like that or even close, some of them.
Right.
That is a good point. And that's kind of makes Duke's run a little even more unlikely. But I don't know.
But Duke's had to kind of get it done that way the whole time, too, because they've been playing those teams all year.
Yes, yeah.
I mean, Arizona had a couple physical matchups where they played Tennessee and
Colorado.
Michigan.
They lost in that physical matchup. So
right.
Tennessee
they lost. Yeah. I mean, So, but
TCU.
TCU probably should have beat them.
Yeah.
For being honest, but
another physical game. Yeah, Houston, but we got to give them credit. You were talking about it quite a bit. Lost their 2 best players, or their best player.
Definitely their best player.
Yeah,
he's pretty much, he was their guy last year on that Final Four Houston team. So for them to not have him and then still make it as far as they did.
They lost him early, but still, I mean, you can't add guys halfway through the year. So you can get used to the group, but that doesn't mean you have the talent level. But they bought in, and I don't know. They pretty much played a home game against us, but I don't think they even needed that the way they were playing. So I don't know. Enough of that sob story. But what are some other? I mean, vastly different runs for our teams based on how the season went.
Yeah, it is funny that after this great historic Arizona season, Miami makes it further in the tournament.
33-4. Regular season and term. Yeah.
We had this discussion. I said Arizona still had the better season.
Yeah, I know.
But it is funny that they're fairly even. In retrospect, it's funny.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. When Arizona lost and Miami is still playing, I was like, oh my, these guys are going to get fired.
Well, these analysts, they don't know what they're talking about. I mean, we watch a lot of we follow a lot of basketball. I watch a lot. He sees a lot, stuff like that.
It's true too.
But we still have, look at our brackets. I mean,
mine's surprised. Well, no, we have the same bracket.
We have the exact same bracket,
which we did not coordinate that whatsoever.
No. We both had Kentucky over Arizona, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll tell you what, I'm not going to win any pool I'm in, but I'm in a family pool, and I was in dead last for most of it for obvious reasons, Kentucky, Arizona. But I'm third right now. I'm going to finish in the top 5. I always do that. Yeah. But I don't usually get it done.
Oh, one other thing that I just thought of is for our March Madness bracket thing, it looks like either my sister or my mom is gonna win. So
come on.
I'm gonna
what are you gonna
neither of them ever watch, so it's painful. But the winner this year is getting a t-shirt, I believe, a Hardwood Homies t-shirt, and will be able to come on the show as a guest for a little while. Maybe they'll get a shout out, bring them on, talk about stuff for a little bit, but chances are it's going to be my mom or my sister. So
who do you think? If you had to guess,
it's probably going to be my sister
because Kansas.
She has Kansas over Duke in the championship.
That's really good.
She picked Villanova to the Final Four.
That's so absurd because you told me she doesn't watch any basketball, but that is very well done. The championship, you could have it exactly right.
Yep. And my mom has Villanova winning the championship. So if Villanova wins the championship, my mom probably wins. If Kansas, or if Kansas makes it to the championship, Duke makes it, then it probably doesn't matter who wins. My sister probably.
You think they'll jump on? Because we said you don't have to come on. What do you think?
No, I'm sure they will.
Yeah, they will. Okay,
I'm sure they will.
Okay.
So
yeah,
that'll be interesting.
Your family, you're representing pretty well.
Yeah,
I'll say that. Yeah.
They probably just listened to me, and I didn't listen to myself. Is probably what happened.
Oh, yeah, has to be.
I said a lot of things that I didn't do. I said never pick against Villanova. Jay Wright's the best coach, and then what do? I pick against him.
Oh yeah, but you picked against him with Arizona team loaded.
I know. I let you influence me. Is the real problem.
That's the thing. I was pretty tame on it. People were saying championship. I'm like, if we're gonna make the Final Four, it's this year.
They should have.
Yeah, we should have. But I'm saying I didn't put them there. I just Final Four. I went for like bare minimum in my mind.
I watched this Arizona team play, and every one of their guys is capable of making threes, making plays. They're dunking. They're good defensively. They don't have any real glaring weaknesses, and somehow they still suck.
Oh,
just because I picked them.
Sorry, Arizona. They
fans.
Choked in the tournament.
If I didn't pick you, you probably would have won the championship.
I wish it was that easy. There's been a lot of trauma in this fan base now. We've had it pretty good compared to a lot. Like we complain about, we can't make the Final Four, but like some teams are trying to get into the tournament for God's sake. So it's relative, which I realize, but yeah, it still hurts. We got a question.
Yep.
Will defense be the ultimate decision maker for the championship game? I mean, tough because we don't know the championship, but I mean, you kind of laid it out.
That's usually what they say on defense wins championships. It kind of depends for me. It depends who gets there, because I think if North Carolina does happen to beat Duke, which I don't think will happen, I think I'm going to pick Duke. I will say if North Carolina does make the championship, I think it mostly comes down to shot making. Is North Carolina going to stay hot from three, or are they going to cool off at the wrong time? But if it's like Duke, Kansas, then I definitely think it could come down to a couple defensive plays at the end of the game,
Yeah, Duke has good defenders.
I think I think that North Carolina's success completely depends on their three-point shooting, because I watched them play UCLA, and in the last 10 minutes of that game, they took nothing but 30-foot threes. And by, bless their hearts, they made 60% of them, it seemed like. Yeah. So. And
I was going to say the Baylor game, they totally collapsed. That more had to do with dribbling into the corner when you get trapped. But
look at that game. I bet you the first 75% of that game, I bet you they made 60% from three, 50% from three.
Well, and they've had these really big second half performances. Like Caleb Love went off for 20 in the second half, or he might be even
25, 24 or something. Yeah, and then RJ Davis had 30 against Baylor.
Yeah.
And he had like 24 in the first half.
Those are the two guys.
Those guys just
show up, they're done. I think
they just take turns shooting 30-footers.
They can't do it with Baycott, though. I know, he was a McDonald's All-American or something, but
he's played amazingly the last couple games. So,
but if one of those guys doesn't show up, I don't think they win. I don't think they have enough. I don't know. Oh, they have the guy from I forgot about him.
And he's been on fire
from Oklahoma. Yeah, he was, especially against Baylor. Before
everyone on their team has just been on fire. Yeah, that's what it's come down to for them, is that most of the year they shot three didn't play defense very well. Now they're playing defense at an average level, and they're just on fire from three.
Well, and something's got to give in that game, because you have Duke. I don't think maybe you have a shootout, but like Duke, for example, they shot like 71% the last 8 minutes against the best defense in the country, Texas Tech. So does North Carolina keep shooting like that? Or does and maybe the Duke team we've seen that has been a little inconsistent for sure.
Yeah.
Or maybe they both play the game of their life and we get great game. I don't know, but I don't know if defense really I don't think of Kansas as a terrific defensive team. They're by no means bad.
They're solid. They're better than this. This is one of their better defensive years for sure.
Okay. I didn't see him enough. I saw him more than I would like.
I saw him in my nightmares.
Yeah, you definitely.
They gave us 15 points total in the second half.
Well, with Kansas, I just think of they have a lot of guys that can score, like a lot. You have Brown.
But their offense really hadn't been playing that well until the second half against Miami. They picked the right time for their offense to show up because their defense had been carrying them to wins. Look at the Big 12 championship. They absolutely destroyed Texas Tech's offense, which Texas Tech's offense is kind of questionable at times, but Kansas's defense has been really, really good in the past month or so.
Yeah, no, it may be. I mean, if Villanova makes a title game, it has to be a defensive game, or they're not going to be in it. I don't think. Like that's not trashing them.
Just losing Moore's offense. It's just
it's not their.
I mean, they have the guys that can get hot too, but without Moore, I mean, Gillespie has got a lot on his shoulders.
Yeah, I forgot about him completely when they lost Moore, and then I was like, he's the only guy we really thought much of to start the season, which is ironic because like losing him would be better off than losing Moore. I feel like late. Well, he's kind of the leader.
I disagree with that. I disagree, but
I don't know. We'll see. But what is he?
Gillespie does everything for him.
I was gonna say, what is he gonna do? Shoot threes? That's not gonna. But yeah, he's more than that. I'll say. But I don't know. I mean, yeah,
Gillespie he's a really good player.
Defense, I mean, it's obviously the easiest way to win titles.
Slater's good. Villanova, I don't know.
You like them, but
I might pick them to still win.
I don't know. We've kind of done it, but let's kind of break down these games, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of Duke, North Carolina. Anything else there? With this question, we kind of went into it pretty deep, but we didn't talk about Duke. What they need to do, I guess.
Well, Duke, North Carolina is so weird because we've already watched them play twice. Two vastly different games. One game is a Duke absolute blowout. The other one is close for a while, and then UNC runs away with it late.
Yeah.
I think the main difference in those games is just how UNC shot the ball. And that's what happens. When a team lives and dies by the three, I mean, that's just the thing. They live and they die because they could come out and lose by – I wouldn't be completely shocked if they came out. If they shoot cold, they lose by 25. I don't think they're going to. That's not my pick. But they certainly could.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to think, though. Like, their defense, we just kind of call that out over and over early in the season. For Carolina, it's improved.
It's improved, but it's still by no means, top of the
cream of the crop or anything. Yeah. But okay. Yeah.
I'd still say they're the fourth best defensive team in the Final Four.
There you go. What a compliment. No, Duke, I don't even know what to think of them. Like, they have all the players they need to, I guess, win the title. It's just, I think their biggest thing is, like, I think their defense will show up enough, but, like, does their offense show up? Do they look like a well-oiled machine?
I think that Jeremy Roach is the X factor for them. Before, I would have said it was A.J. Griffin, but teams have kind of just started absolutely denying him the ball, sticking to him, not even letting him get a shot off. So it's opened up the paint wide open for Moore and Roach. And Jeremy Roach has been playing incredible over the last several games. So if he keeps that up, I think Duke probably wins the championship. If he starts to go back to how he was playing earlier in the season, where he is settling for jumpers, then I think they could lose to North Carolina, Kansas, whoever.
Yeah. No, interesting matchup in the paint. You got Patrick Williams versus Baycott. Kind of a
Mark Williams.
Mark. Why do I? God. Okay. We're almost. I was gonna say a year in, a whole season of the podcast, and I still call him Patrick Williams. Thank you, fantasy basketball. But yes, Mark Williams and Baycott. I don't know. It's kind of an interesting matchup. Like you said it, Baycott's been playing well, but Williams has been, I don't know, I've noticed him all season, even though I can't name him. So I just am kind of fast. I don't think that decides the game, but I'm curious to see who kind of wins that.
Yeah, it'll be North Carolina's been really offensive rebounding. Holy smokes, I almost had a stroke there. North Carolina's offensive rebounding has been like off the charts over this tournament, and it'll be interesting to see if that can continue with Williams down inside. I don't know if Baycott will be able to get as many
I doubt it.
boards as he has against everyone else.
Yeah.
Because everyone North Carolina's played this tournament has been pretty undersized so far.
Yeah, even Baylor.
So,
yeah, that's true.
So maybe they run into a team that's got big dudes like Theo John and Mark Williams, and even Banchero's a pretty big.
Yeah, he is.
He's a big boy. So
yeah,
if they can keep them off the glass and make them shoot threes, then it's
this Kansas versus Villanova game. And I was gonna say Kansas can be really good, but I can't buy in, but I could actually say that about every team in the Final Four. Like, I can't completely buy in, but there's few teams. I guess you could, but I don't. What do you expect? You thought it would be close.
I think both games are going to be really good. I don't like a lot of the teams left. I said that earlier.
Yeah.
But I do think they're going to be really good games. So, yeah, in terms of Kansas Villanova, I think pace is going to decide that game. I think if it's played slow, if Villanova can limit rebounding somehow and then play slow, don't turn it over, get quality shots, I think Villanova can win. But if Kansas is able to get stops and get out in transition and run, then I think Kansas will win. So
yeah, if you see like a 30-20 halftime score or 5 minutes left in the half, probably a good sign unless somehow Kansas is winning that game. But
I don't see if I see a low scoring game, I'd say Villanova's got a decent shot, but if it's fast paced, a lot of shots flying.
Yeah, it would be a surprise to see.
You know why I'm going to pick Villanova is because it's a lot easier to slow a team down and then speed them up.
That's very true.
You hear that all the time. And Villanova is going to go in with a game plan of snail pace basketball where they're going to make Kansas work defensively every single possession, multiple swinging it around the horn, ball movement. They're going to hit shots, and I don't know. I can't pick against Jay Wright. I've said it too many times. I said it all year, and then I picked against him, and it did me wrong. I'm not doing it again.
Okay.
Villanova Duke championship. Duke over Villanova. Coach K cuts down the nets and rides off into the sunset.
That's very cute. I didn't talk about Coach K. I'll get to that. So with this game, maybe Villanova wins, but I don't think it's a good pick. I'm definitely not picking them. Like I said, I don't completely buy into Kansas, and there is a good point made there because it is a lot easier. And it's not quite this easy, but if you think about it, you're playing a fast team. What do? You send people. If you know they want to run every time, you send people back instead of everyone crash the glass.
Yeah.
Like, it's not.
Yeah, and it's not like Villanova's going to be getting a whole lot of boards anyway.
Yeah, they're too small, especially.
Well, they did rebound pretty well against Houston, but that's besides.
Yeah, that's impressive too. Kansas. Oh God. You know what? I can't pick Duke. Do I think they're better than North Carolina? Not even close. Kansas, North Carolina, somehow Hubert Davis takes the Tar Heels to the title game, almost wins the title in his first year as a head coach. What a story. But he loses. Maybe he never makes it back, but that's to be decided later. Coach K, he loses.
UNC gets the last laugh at Coach K. Huh?
That would make me happy. I'll say this. Legendary coach, but there's one thing I cannot stand. So there's this thing about him, like he's like they talk about kind of his discipline and how he values like kind of ethics because they link it to like Army and everything, which, you can link those two things. That's fine. But does he exemplify? I don't think so. I think there's examples of him prioritizing winning over being very rigid, disciplined. Yeah, I don't. So give him legendary coach, maybe the best of all time. But if you want to say high character and all that, never going to buy into that. I could list things, but I'm going to spare people.
Breaking news. One of the homies calls Coach K a fraud.
I didn't call him a fraud.
You called him a fraud.
I said he could be one of the best of all time, but
You
I'm not
said
going to
he's
buy
a
into
fraud.
this character argument that he's such a high character. He holds his players.
His
to
character
the
is fraudulent. That's what you
I
said.
didn't say that. Did not. But no, I did say it's definitely not this idea that he's like this high character guy with the way he coaches and everything. No, you could say a lot of coaches do that too, but no, I'm not.
I think he's a good guy, but I think he has cheated his way to the top like all the other good coaches. So.
Oh, geez. I don't even. I can't say it's a bad guy. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just saying when it comes to winning, he's not going to be the guy to say, "Oh yeah, you were involved in a
DUI,"
and I will see once the trial, whatever. But then no one ever gets punished. The media forgets about it, and he's this great man and a great coach. But
Ben Carroll goes off to the NBA, drafted 2nd overall.
And is that something to hold against him forever? No, but there's other things. It's not one thing. So but no, I'm not. Let's represent him as who he is, not make him a saint, because if anyone actually believes that, you got to look at the facts about some things. I'm not going to start making a ton of accusations, but yes, a lot of the big coaches have a similar philosophy.
Yeah.
And you can
pay your recruits to go there and then you win.
I mean, yeah, that's one way
that's
to
the
cheat
similar
in basketball.
Philosophy. No,
I don't know. There's no evidence of them doing that.
There's a lot of evidence.
With one player in mind, yes, I can think
with Zion. Is that what you're talking about?
I have no comment.
With them paying him $100 and something thousand.
Well, that accusation was also made by a guy who lies, and he's in prison right now because he was ripping off his clients. So not a reliable source.
Well, Nike was paying Duke players to go to Duke. That's a fact. And they're going to tell me that Duke didn't know about that. You're out of your mind if you think that Duke didn't know that was happening.
Well, then, none of these colleges are clean.
And it wasn't just Duke. It was a bunch of Nike.
Adidas, Bill Self, level 1 violations. He gets rewarded with an extension.
Depending on how much money your school makes for the NCAA, that depends how much you'll be punished. If your school makes a lot of money for the NCAA, they're like, "Oh, you did bad thing. Oh." Wrist slap.
See, I didn't even think we were going to talk about I know I'm leading into that, so I'm fine with it. The paying for players, because all that, do I believe that happens? Yes. Do I believe there's evidence? Yes. But I feel like there's a bunch of allegations, and then you can never quite make the full link. Kansas was caught red-handed, and, pretty much if you have a brain, you can assume that Self knew something, which is why the NCAA gave him all the violations, lack of what is institutional control.
Yeah.
Which I don't think Duke has ever gotten. North Carolina a while ago, not Davis, just academic fraud. That's nothing to do with him.
Yeah, they were sending their players to fake classes to get easy A's so they could be eligible to play.
That's kind of college sports in some ways, so sad thing. But anyway, point about Coach K stands.
Special tutors for all the players.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure.
Oh, you're just saying in general. Yeah.
Just special treatment in general in terms of academics.
That's how it goes, yeah. But yeah, Coach K, legendary coach. Let's just leave it at that. Let's not try to make him a god or something, please. I want to say any questions anyone has, they can throw them in. I mean, this is kind of a good point to end, but I know we only have how many episodes?
Left.
Be second to last.
Possibly one after this.
Yeah, this might be it. I guess you can do the subscribe.
Yeah, go ahead and subscribe.
It's always at the end of the video.
Yeah. If you're still tuning in, go to Hardwood Homies and subscribe so you can stay in tune on your Hardwood Homies content. It benefits us and you.
One thing that we just forgot about the Grizz, they had a rough season, so that's fine. I'm not saying we should have talked about them every episode. But the transfer portal has been wreaking havoc already. You have some kind of bigger names like Curbelo from Illinois transferring, but some Grizz players too. I believe Parker, Beasley.
Oh, Beasley.
There was one today. I think it must have been Beasley, but.
I saw Parker.
I don't know if it's for sure they're gone, but they may be testing the portal. I need to know more.
Testing the portal.
I guess that's the draft. You can like test the waters.
Yeah.
So I guess once you enter that, you're not coming back. So yeah.
I mean, you can withdraw your name, but I don't think
maybe.
that's a common thing.
Yeah. So some big names for the Grizz that are entering the portal, but that's anymore. Like a lot of big players from Murray State have done that.
Everyone from Murray State transferred.
Literally everyone?
Pretty much, yeah. Like their entire starting five, I think.
I saw something like their whole roster, and I was like, well, that's exaggerating.
I think every one of their starting five is in the portal or has already transferred somewhere else.
I know 2 of their studs.
One of them's going to LSU for sure. Their point guard, pretty good point guard. Yeah. Anyway, I can't think of his name, but he averaged, he's like their starting point guard, 5-6 assists a game. Good player.
They had a really good team this
year. And then KJ Williams entered the portal as well, and he's averaging like 19 a game for them this year. So, I mean, some really good players. But that's what happens when their coach left, right?
Oh, did he leave?
I assume. Maybe he didn't. I just assumed he did.
He may have, though, because he did.
I think he
he may be right
somewhere.
I don't know. And the rich get richer because they're probably going to go to some big name school, and then these smaller schools suffer.
That's going to be the blueprint. The blueprint anymore is you're going to have a couple 5-stars and then a couple big name transfers.
Kentucky did it. They were pretty good. Wait, Duke didn't really use that, did they? I was talking.
No, not really. They actually have a couple veterans. I mean, they got more than some bench players.
No, it's not a 5-star lineup.
Roach is a transfer, isn't he?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy. I'm not going to keep track of Duke unless I have to.
Yeah. Williams and Bancaro, both freshmen there. But, yeah.
We got 2 questions.
Oh, Theo John is a transfer from Marquette.
Oh, yeah. Good point. I don't think my point holds up well 5 seconds in. How you – I'm going to read it how it's phrased because I like it. How you feeling about the NBA going into the tournament in a few weeks?
The Lakers are officially out of the playoffs right now.
Yes. Yes, sorry. I just said for now. But
I was going to get to that.
I know.
And I couldn't be happier.
Is that it?
That's my statement, I guess.
I mean, sure, I'm not
That's my statement. I thought there was going to be more, but then that was the statement, I guess.
Okay. No, I'm not opposed to that. I mean, I wanted better for Westbrook, but I don't like the Lakers. And the NBA, since the Thunder's demise, I can't really get behind a lot.
Pelicans rounding into shape. Zion's getting closer and closer to coming back.
He's not playing the rest of the year, but he's dunking online.
No, he might play.
I think so. Weeks ago, I was pretty sure they said he's done, but then he had a video of him dunking. So
I saw he did between the legs dunk.
Let's say the Suns took care of the first. They look really good.
The Suns, Chris Paul got back. He's right back to business as usual.
Yeah.
The Bucks are really starting to look good again.
And then who?
Giannis
the Celtics.
Is a freak.
Celtics have turned it on in the East, actually. They were in first earlier this week, maybe into last week. I don't know if that's still the case. And the Warriors have been struggling a little bit.
Yeah.
They got whipped by the Grizzlies.
Curry, bad ankle injury. Not ankle, knee. What is it? Yeah, he's out for the rest of the season.
Oh, you really?
Yeah.
Where am I? Okay. There you I was wondering what had been going on with him.
Yeah.
Thompson, he ever get back to form?
Yeah, he actually had 40 or 38 or something the other night. They lost, but
good. We got confirmation in the chat. Celtics looking really good. Good. I'm glad I got that right.
Celtics.
Well, they
should be good. They should be.
But Robert Williams is.
They'll probably be a letdown again. I assume the Celtics will be a letdown again because they normally are.
Tatum and Brown, though, pretty good duo there.
I agree.
NBA MVP thoughts. Ooh, I don't know. And NCAA Men's Basketball Coach of the Year.
The only reason that Giannis is not going to win MVP is because of voter fatigue already, and I think that's stupid because he's
only one. He's one. Yeah,
I think he just won.
Yeah,
but he's clearly by far the best player in the NBA. I don't think that anyone who doubts that is wrong.
I know what you're going to say about him.
I'm just going to say Giannis is the best player in the NBA.
Cool
maybe
guy,
statistically, even statistically, he's the best. But Jokic has had good stats. People will say he should win. Embiid's been healthy.
Yeah,
he's going to win because he's been healthy for the first time in years.
Well, he's been doing pretty good.
He's been doing pretty good. Giannis showed him up last night, but
there you go.
He did. He blocked a game-winning block. He had like 40-something and 18 rebounds. Giannis is the best player in the league.
And he's a fun guy.
He's going to be the best.
Likable too.
Yeah, he's going to be the best player in the league for the next 5 to 7 years.
You're going on.
He might go down as the greatest player of all time.
Oh my God! If this was an NBA podcast, that would have been some. I don't know. That's some headlines there. I want to go back to that in 5 to 7 years, maybe. I don't know. So I'm not. I would be lying to people. No. I know for a fact Embiid's been doing really well. That's pretty much. I know LeBron, their coach, thinks he should be MVP, even though he's. For his age, it's crazy what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like, no one can deny that, but
no doubt.
They're not even in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's been so valuable to his team. They're the 11th seed in the West.
What would they be without him? They can't go much farther.
Yeah,
that's the issue.
13th.
Coach of the year, Lloyd has won. Tommy Lloyd from Arizona has won like 2 of these, but what's the big one? Is it who's like there's one
Naismith?
Yeah. And I don't think they've announced.
No, I don't think so either.
I don't know. Adams is in the running for that from
Texas Tech.
Texas Tech. Cooley from Providence. Providence and Arizona got out. I don't know when they stopped voting for that, but Providence. All 3 of those teams got out in the Sweet 16. Who's the other? Who else would even be in the running for that? There was another coach.
Jim Larinaga.
I mean, the way you finished.
I'm just kidding.
Good coach. Really good.
If you're counting postseason, I mean, UNC, that's a heck of a coaching thing. First year, get him to the Final Four.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean, he won't be. It's good. I think it's going to be Lloyd, probably.
Oh, good. That's a consolation. I don't know. I just started moaning there for a while. I just sat here and was like, okay. But that would make me very happy.
Only on the Hardwood homies do you get moaning over coaches and groaning over things.
It was more of a groan.
Just subscribe.
Well, no, it wasn't a groan.
Subscribe for more Jacob groans and moans.
Booker MVP. It's not announced on the Final Four for Coach of the Year this Sunday. Thank you very much, Zach. You've come up big in the chat this whole season.
Booker MVP is a bit of a pipe dream, but I respect it.
Okay, let's just end it there. I mean, we should have ended it with what I was doing, but I had to respect the comments.
Things have gotten all over the place lately. It feels like a good point to just
let's call
it a wrap.
Okay.
Good night, homies.
Good night.